This story now, judgment is expected in the trial of alleged serial rapist Nkosinathi Phakathi. He faces almost 150 charges linked to at least 93 rapes dating back to 2012. Phakathi pleaded guilty to most of the charges, with the NPA dropping some minor charges in a plea deal. Manqoba Mchunu is at the Palm Ridge Magistrate Court in Ekurhuleni with more on this story. Good morning, Manqoba. I mean, this story is honestly horrific. One cannot believe that he has pleaded guilty to all these charges, 93. Just talk to us about what happened yesterday and what we're expecting today.
Well, Mfunda, today what we are expecting is for him or his plea bargain rather to be presented in court. Of course, we recall that yesterday he had pleaded guilty to some of those charges, 148 charges in total, and those of course include 89 charges of rape, 42 of kidnapping, 2 of assault and 8 of compelled sexual assault. And these were just some of the charges. You recall, of course, that he was facing 203 charges rather initially for the crimes that we believe he had committed between 2012 and 2021. And yesterday the state deciding to drop some of those minor charges, but he has admitted that he did commit these particular incidents of rape. He admitted to them yesterday, saying that he had been involved in some of those activities. But as far as his plea bargain is concerned, we do understand that that will be read out in court today, and after that we are expecting judgment, of course, to be given by the court. But of course, many people still shocked at the extent of the crime that he had committed over the years. We know that his reign of terror went for about 9 years undetected, and of course some of his victims, we know, Mfundo, were children as young as 9 years old. We know that most of them were school children that he had targeted, but in the later years he also changed his modus operandi, targeting older women at their homes. He would pose as a municipal worker and go to these houses pretending that he was coming to read the meters from these houses. And that's when he will then rape these women. And also, it didn't end there. When it comes to some of the rape incidents, he'll also compel some of the young, minors or the young children that are accompanying some of the rape victims to also witness him, doing these heinous crimes. And in fact, in one of the occasions that were mentioned in court, he also compelled one of the minors to actually partake in the rape itself. So it is quite serious charges that he's facing, and of course we are expecting to hear from the court as to what judgment will be given. Of course, since he has pleaded guilty to most of them, we are of course expecting that he would be convicted of these charges.
Manqoba, before I let you go, how was his demeanor in court?
Well, Mfundo, for most of the time, he was just, sitting there looking emotionless for most of the court proceedings, but there were no families in court. There were no activists that were there in court yesterday. So for most of the time, he kept, facing down and looking emotionless. He will just respond when he was asked those questions, but it doesn't appear at all as if, he, shows any remorse for any of these incidents. In fact, I think that's one of the arguments that the state will be putting forward as far as the sentencing is concerned, because this is a man that continued for over 9 years to rape, and sexually assault women. And these were young women we're talking about. And, from his demeanor, I can tell you that he really didn't show any emotion in court. He was just sitting there and just, really answering those questions. But as far as, the charges are concerned, the NPA is saying that these are quite serious charges. They will be calling for the harshest sentence as far as his sentencing is concerned. So we are expecting to hear whether those sentencing procedures are going to continue in court today. But what we do know is that after that plea bargain has been read, we are expecting the court to hand down its judgment on this particular matter.